Are you frustrated with how much you're charging or how much people aren't willing to pay? Or would it be nice if people would just pay you 10 times more than what you're getting paid now to either do the same thing or less things? And I'm so excited to have back on the department, Richmond Dinh. We are currently in Las Vegas at the Bellagio, and there are like 8 beautiful, handsome looking people in this room dressed to the nines. And these are your highest paying clients?
They are, yeah.
How much have these clients paid you?
Some of them in the room right now have paid me 100 grand.
Raise your
100K
hand.
clients.
Raise your hand if you've paid 100 grand to be here. Okay. And then the other group would
At
be
least 30.
At least 30.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question is, how do you charge a client $100,000?
That's going to trigger a lot of people, because the first thing people think, this guy's a scam, he's a ripoff, he's not going to over deliver, he's like a wolf dressed in sheep's clothing or something like that, right? Well, this is, and I learned,
Which I'll say you're not.
Thank you.
So like, and if you think that you just revealed insecurities about yourself, but that's okay. We're going to break through that right now. Yeah.
But I was like that because I had those stories before I charged those. So I understand, like, if you're feeling that way, then it's justified, because I used to think people who charge that much, there must be some scam, or they were ripping people off or whatever it is, only to realize that you charge for outcomes. That's the key difference. Is when people start focusing on outcomes, that's when you can charge more. But most people don't. They focus on process. They focus on how. They focus on, what do I need to do now? What's the steps? What's the ingredients? Without knowing the end outcome. And that's what gets people stuck.
Yes. Okay. Price on outcome. Because I've been through a journey.
Yep.
I mean, when I first started my coaching program, it was $2,000.
Yep.
And now it's $25,000. And as far as time goes, it's the same time. As far as fulfillment goes, it's essentially the same. I've just realized the same thing. Like, I was helping people at this point. There's actually somebody in this room who's in my inner circle who closed over $100,000 a month contract.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a good place to clap. You can clap. This is the live audience.
Let's go. Let's go.
Now
that must be a scam. No, just.
I mean, yeah. Put him, Art, film him. No, I'm just kidding. Put him on the spot. No, but it opens up my eyes, because it's like, if Alan paid me $2,000, that'd make no sense.
Yeah.
But then I also want to unpack the psychological aspect to pricing, the perceived value and things like that.
Totally.
But when we say outcome, I do want to bring something that comes to mind to challenge that. What if they don't get the result? What if they don't get the outcome that they paid for?
Well, here's the first thing. The number one reason why they may not get the outcome is because the person selling the outcome may not be super clear on what the exact outcome is. So, for example, when you're selling a $100,000 offer, most people miss that one of the outcomes people want is the status associated with it, not the tangible. And so, for example, there's no way you're buying a Ferrari if you don't get to show it off.
Right.
And so you need to sell the fact that you can show it off. Bright red color, here's what it looks like, it sounds loud, and people want to pay for status. And so sometimes the outcome is status, but people miss that. They think, oh, the outcome, I'm going to make $100,000, or I'm going to make $200,000 from this course, I'm going to make $1 million, or whatever it is. But never ever forget that people want status too. And if you're selling outcomes, don't forget that status is an outcome. It's an intangible, but it's an outcome. No one's buying a Hermes bag or a Chanel bag if they didn't want the status associated with it. And if a Chanel bag was $10, no one's going to buy it.
Yeah.
So that's what
really
I mean.
Good.
Yeah.
No, that's good, because you're bringing up a point that there's so much more than what you get when it comes to pricing.
Yeah.
Like, and I think newer entrepreneurs, which a lot of people that consume this are on the beginning of their journey, they think, because when you start off, it's so internal, and we always project. But if you're in, the way you were raised up, you're going to project something on your pricing. Your pricing is usually a projection of your beliefs and what, the value you create. So let's just go there. Like, what other things do you sell when you're selling people into coaching, consulting offers? Like, so you said status is one of them.
Yep.
That's one reason to charge more money, is to allow people to experience a higher status.
Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Especially if the person you're connecting with is of a higher status.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with wanting high-end stuff and luxury stuff and wanting to pay for it, and you pay for it because it's expensive.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, you feel like a different person when you put on a pair of LV shoes or some branded clothes, and sometimes you just wear normal clothes. Like, you just actually feel like a different person. It's your identity.
Yep. Hey. We had to pause this podcast and let you know about the Department Live happening in Las Vegas. We're going to be recording the 100th episode of this podcast live here at our headquarters. And if you're seeing this, not that many people know, because there's only about 100 or so tickets for sale. And so I want you to come to Las Vegas, come meet me and Art.mp4, and we're going to be packing out this space of ours and shooting our 100th episode live. Gonna be doing Q&A, gonna be doing some like tacos or In-N-Out burgers outside, music, gonna have merch. And so want you to check out the link in the description, scan the QR code. And I can't wait to meet you, our department fam, here at the department headquarters. Hey, so grateful, can't believe 100 episodes. Let's get back to the combo. So that's one of the things is status. What's another?
That's close to that.
Yeah,
which is intangible, is identity. So people buy identities. So people buy things they think they want to strive to become, or who they look forward to, and or who they believe they are. And so when you're selling outcomes, back to your original question, what if they don't get the outcome? The reason why they haven't got the outcome is maybe you've missed the outcome they actually wanted. And you're not actually selling that. People buy identities, they pay for status, and then everything else is cream.
You would categorize it or prioritize it in that order?
I would prioritize identity first, then status, and then everything else is cream. If you give those two things to people, they will buy. And the only reason why someone else doesn't buy a $5,000 handbag because they only buy a $20 one is because they see themselves as a practical person. I'm a practical person. Why would I spend $5,000 on a handbag? Well, now you're selling a $20 one to that person because they're a practical person. So you're selling to their identity.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some game, I'll just give it away. This game cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Is you use status and identity for the names and the things in your offer.
Yes.
Like the $1 million coach.
Yes.
The whatever that is, right?
Yep.
Like, I think, and that's something I've learned.
Yeah. Like 0.1, like, our mastermind is called 0.1. 0.1 is being the 0.1%. Like, that's status.
Yeah, that's good. Dang, it's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my inner circle is called the Content Mastery Inner Circle.
Exactly. So you're not going to name it like the loser program. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, what's funny is
that?
like before I just called it, what did I call it? The video department inner circle. That was it. Which sold inclusivity, but didn't sell necessarily status. Yeah. Because it was just my business's name and then inner circle. So, and so it's just a good thing that I've even learned as I've been able to confidently raise my prices. And then that's good. So you're saying, yes, outcome isn't always a final product. Outcome in most cases, is identity and status.
Yes, because people want to feel proud of what they just bought. They want to tell their friends. And if they imagine you bought something, you tell your friend, you're like, "Ooh, why'd you buy that? That's crap." Like, you don't want to buy it. You want your friends to say, "Oh my gosh, I want that too." Yeah. Like, even if it's a $5 thing, or if you went to a restaurant and it's like, "Oh my gosh, I was the first person that bought the iPhone and they waited 2 days in line," or "I was the first person that ate that, like, at that donut shop that just opened," or if Chick-fil-A opened in Sydney, which it should.
Yeah, they haven't.
No.
Wow.
I'm going to be the first person there because I'm going to get status associated with it to say really I'm the first person, and I'll wait 3 days for it.
Yeah.
But that's not a $100,000 thing. That's $5 or $10. Because people just want to feel proud of what they're buying. That's the status part, whether it's $5 or $100,000. So Chick-fil-A, are you sponsoring this? You should.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Yeah. And so that's good. Now let's just keep it at the 100,000 conversation.
Yeah.
People would imagine, are you giving them a rib? Maybe a finger? Do they have your phone number and can they call you at any time in the night? Are you giving your life away? And is this a one-time buy, or they have to pay again if they want to stay in? Like, I know these are a lot of things that people are struggling with.
Well, I've got 2 stories for that. And I think this will really help anyone watching that's wanting to charge super high ticket without having to sell their soul. Because the story I had in my mind was if I sold a 100K offer, which does not include any one-on-one coaching, by the way, I would have to give all my time away, my soul, my phone number, my kids. I can't, like, if they called me in the middle of the night, I had to pick up. Like, I had those stories. Like, if someone's paying you 100 grand, you should do that. That's not the case. And like 2 stories for this. Like, you know, I don't know if you heard this before, like the dentist story. So if someone's going to the dentist, like this guy had a big toothache and he was like, oh, maybe I should see a dentist. But it got worse and worse to the point where he couldn't sleep.
Wow.
And then he couldn't eat. And then he couldn't work, and then he couldn't function. And finally, he booked himself in for emergency dental surgery and got into the clinic and said, hey, my teeth is aching. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't work. And the dentist fit him in and did a couple of things. 2 minutes later, said, I'm all done. Walks out. I was like, wow, you're a genius. Sends him the bill. It's $1,500. And the guy says, $1,500 for 2 minutes? You're a ripoff. And the dentist says, okay, let's come back in the chair. I'll take 4 hours. People don't want more time. They want the outcome. They just think more time is more value. No, you could take all the time in the world, but it's like if you can do it faster, better, then they will pay for it. So that's number one.
That's good.
But the second other story is this. Like, I mean, if you could get the result faster with less time, would you? For sure.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to spend 1 hour on a one-on-one coaching call with someone when they can just tell you in 2 minutes? Like, that's the key. Like, it's like, oh, they don't give you 1 hour of time, but I got the outcome in 2 minutes. When you do that, when you don't trade time for money, you also train your clients to think outcome based. And so it's like, I don't want to book in an hour call just to get, if you can give me the answer on WhatsApp, give me the answer on WhatsApp. And so another thing, like this is a true story. So in my old home, we had, I don't know about you, but when the lights go out, I don't change the lights unless multiple lights go out because I'm not going to get the ladder out and you know what I mean? Like, like for example, in this hotel, if one of the lights busted, that will probably change it. But for me, 6 of these have to bust before I go out and change. I'm going to change all 6 of them in one go. So we had this dining room, which it was lit by 2 lights and one of them busted. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to change it. So it's only 1 light. But funnily enough, a month later, the other one busted and now both lights were gone in our dining room. And it happened at a time where I was so busy. I was traveling a lot, running events. And it wasn't a priority for me to change it. And so for a whole month, we ate with the neighboring room light on to light that room. And it was like candlelight dinner every night. So until the point where Penny got so frustrated, he's like, when are you going to change the light? When are you going to change the light? When are you going to change the light? I'm like, fine, I'll go change the light. And so I went to Bunnings, which is the big department store, to find the light bulbs. Actually, I went to my shed to find a light bulb. And I found a light bulb, which was a couple of years old. I didn't know if it was working or not. I put it in the light fixtures, turned it on, it didn't work. I'm like, oh, okay, it must be faulty light globes. So I went to the big department store, and you know when you go to these things to find a light bulb, there's 1,000 choices. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. On the note of offers, side topic, if you got 1,000 offers, you'll lose. You should only have 1 offer because you'll overwhelm your clients. People are like, I've got 3, 4, 5 offers. I got gold, platinum, silver, ruby, diamond. The clients are not going to pick. Yeah. And you go to a big department store, there's 1,000 light globes. I was overwhelmed and I hated it. And I was so busy. I finally got the globes, the right globes. I went home, I put it in, I turned on the light and it didn't work. And I'm like, okay, so something must be wrong with the like electric circuit stuff. And I'm not an electrician, so I called an electrician and I said, I need you to come over and help out. But he was really ethical. And he said, send me a picture of the globe, of the light thing you bought, and also the fixture. And so I sent him all the photos and he said, oh, that's the one with a dimmer. And I said, yeah, it's got a dimmer. Well, the globes you bought are not dimmable. I'm like, oh, here we go. So I went back just from a photo, because the reason why he asked me that was because he said, if I come over to try to fix your problem, I'm going to have to charge you $140 as a call out fee, regardless of whether I do any work or not. And so I don't want to come out there to realize that you bought the wrong globes and you're going to have to pay me $140. So I thought, okay, so that's why he wanted to know, to see if he could fix the problem before coming out. Shout out to homie. Yeah, like ethical, legit. So I went back to Bunnings to find a dimmable globe, and there's 1,000 choices. and I finally find one. I come back and then I put the globes back in, still didn't work. Messaged my electrician, the ones I got didn't work. And he's like, okay, you did get the right ones. So he came the next day to see what the problem was. And I kid you not, he looked up, he did a few things. I left him to it. 2 minutes later, he said, I'm all done. And this is legit 2 minutes. And I'm like, what did you do? He said, well, I don't mean to make you sound like an idiot, but those globes that you got, like, it's a really finicky globe thing where you just had to turn it an extra 1/4 inch. Like, I thought I had it tight, but it had to be super tight. And so from that 1/4 inch turn, he solved the problem. And I had to pay him $140, but I was happy to do it because there's no way I was going to be able to YouTube that. There's no way I was going to solve it on my own and would have had dark light for the next months on months and months on end. But that's the power of a 1/4 inch turn. And I paid him for the outcome, not for the time. And I was more than happy to do that. And so that's a clear example of just charge for the outcome. Like, I don't want him to spend 3 hours trying to fix my light.
Yeah.
He did it in 2 minutes for the same price. I'm happy with that. Let's do it. In fact, I probably should pay him more because it's out of my way.
So good.
Yeah.
Hey, department fam, question for you. Based on you listening to this podcast, you probably are either looking to grow your personal brand this year, build your audience online, and just stop chasing business and start to have business chasing you. If that's you, I want to invite you to the Content to Cash Challenge. This is a 5-day coaching experience, a live coaching experience with myself that's done all on Zoom, and you get access to a private community, and it really is unlike any other experience that I offer. By the end of the challenge, you'll have unreal clarity on what you're supposed to do online, and you'll have the insight on how you can make an extra 6 or even 7 figures. Yes, I said 7 figures in your business this year. And if any of those things sound great to you, I want you to join the next Content to Cash Challenge. Scan the QR code if you're watching on a television, or click the link in the description. Once you go through it, go ahead and upgrade to VIP because you'll get an extra hour of bonus VIP Q&A with me every single day of the challenge. And so looking forward to seeing you there. Let's get back into the combo. Yeah, I mean, I literally, the thing that comes to mind is when I first joined Myron's program in 23, I struggled with that. I struggled with, well, if I charge more, that means I have to include more. If I charge more, that means I have to make it longer. And then he just presented me a hypothetical situation. He's like, Omar, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. He was like, I have this program that will teach you how to make $10 million. Are you interested? I said, yeah. He said, the first route you can go is $20,000. It comes with 100 videos, 100 audio files, and 100 download PDF workbook. It's like, it's pretty sweet.
Yep, sounds good.
He's like, I have another path, and it's 1 piece of paper, 1 audio file, and 1 video. It'll teach you how to make $10 million. That one's $40,000. Which one do you want?
I want the $40,000 one.
Why?
I don't want to spend hours.
So that in that moment, it broke.
Yeah.
It broke in that moment. Now, we all go through the process of transformation to be able to charge, because anyone watching or listening to this could literally charge $100,000 for something right now.
Agree.
But your voice would probably quiver.
Yes. And
you'd probably wonder, because you're still going through a process maybe. But like, what was that like for you? Like when you first started charging for coaching and consulting, what was the price? Do you have like a story in that? And then how you started to see like, oh, this is way more valuable. I need to charge more. What were those belief breakers for you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, if you're watching this and you're waiting for belief, you're going to be waiting a very long time. Belief always comes from someone else first. Always, always. And so borrow other person's belief that you can do it. So if you're around the right people and they see something that you don't see and they believe in you first, just borrow that. If you're trying to get the belief first, it's not going to happen. That's why you are who you spend time with. And the only reason why I could sell a $100,000 offer was because Myron saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself. And I'm like, well, I don't think he's trying to scam me. I don't think he's trying to give me a false impression that I'm better than I really am. I think he actually sees that in me. Why would he try to give me a false sense of ego? That would be weird. And I thought, well, if he sees it, then, and I don't see it yet, I'll probably just try to just give it a go and see if it works. And then the belief came afterwards. But if I had tried to meditate on it and do the whole incantations and kumbaya and all that kind of stuff, it would have never come. And so the starting point is really if you're around the right people and they see it in you and they believe it in you, then just borrow that first.
Yeah, that's actually a biblical thing I find in Mark chapter 2. Verse 1, I think it's Jesus's first sermon. He's preaching in his home. I think it's his home. And then there are these 4 friends who have a friend that's paralyzed. and they break the ceiling of the wall or the ceiling, bring their friend down in front of Jesus. And then it's a very powerful portion of scripture where it says, and then Jesus looked at the faith of his friends and healed the man.
Wow.
Borrowed faith, borrowed
Wow.
belief. That's what's up.
Wow.
You could steal that one if you want to. Yeah.
I'm writing that one down. Yeah.
So when you first got into it, what was your pricing and then who did you want to help and things like that?
Yeah. Well, I knew I was confident in my ability to help someone make $1 million through a $100,000 offer. That's number one. I just didn't know what it would look like logistically or how.
No, I mean, are you talking about the 100K offer?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking like go back to young rich.
Oh, young Richmond. Yeah. Well, you got to charge what you're confident in charging. Number
100.
one, like that's the first thing. If it makes you want to vomit, then just take a step back just a little bit. Although, I mean, there's arguments to that.
Yeah, people say, just say it. Whatever makes you nervous, times it by 5 and then say that number and then see what happens.
Exactly.
But I feel like that route, but from my perspective, because I know what you're talking about, it's like, oh, it worked. I do feel like that can get you in a scammy system.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
But if you are confident because you know the value and you see the value, I like to call it conviction. Conviction-based pricing.
Yep.
But early on in your journey, what would you say?
Yeah. So my journey was conviction-based pricing, and I got that from my mentor. It's like, what do you? Here's a key question: what do you secretly believe it's worth? Because what you secretly believe it was maybe not someone you will say with conviction, but you see, I secretly think it's worth 5,000, but if I say 5,000, I feel like I'm going to choke and vomit and I'm going to scam them. Okay, so you secretly think it's worth 5,000. That's good. That's a starting point. That's the goal to move towards. Okay, what would you be confident in saying out loud without choking? Probably 3,000. Okay, start there. Just start there, and that's okay. You should feel like they are getting the best deal of their life, and you should feel like this is so cheap. They're getting a bargain, and that's why they should buy it. Like if you're not feeling that, then you're not charging the right way that's congruent to you. You should never be feeling like, hey, I think I'm ripping them off. You should be feeling like, I think they're ripping me off.
100.
That's a great place to start.
It actually, in your book, you say, don't charge more than you're worth. Charge way less than you're worth.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love that because that is not what we're always told.
Yeah, yeah. Whole misconception. Charge your worth. Charge your worth more than that. Charge more. No, because if you're charging your worth, you're trading a one-to-one outcome, like one-to-one value. You should be giving 10x the value of what you're charging. So by default, you're always charging less than your worth.
Yeah.
Like always by default. And you always should feel like I am getting ripped off in this deal. And I love that because they're winning. So and that's the key. Like if they win, then you win. But if you're ripping them off, then that's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you started off at the price point of
3,000 when I started.
3,000.
Yeah. And I say that because that maybe seem really high to a lot of people, because I see a lot of people starting out and they're like, they choke on 500, they choke on 1,000. And I started on 3,000, and I wondered why I started on 3,000. It was because who I was spending time with. So I started out as an optometrist. I had no friends in the coaching space, and I didn't know what people were charging. It's just the first coaching program I had bought was a $25,000 mastermind. And he just said, charge 3,000. And everyone in that community was charging 3,000. The funny thing is everyone in that community was always doing paid in full. There was no such thing as a payment plan. So all my clients when I started out was 3,000 paid in full. There was no other option. I didn't have any other awareness of any other pricing. Wow. And so I didn't have a limiting belief on 1,000 because I just thought 3,000 was normal. And so that's why I charged 3,000, because it was normal around my peer group.
Yeah.
And I know that's another topic altogether.
Right.
But for me, I didn't know anything else. But now people do. So it gets in their head. Sometimes too much information is not good.
Right. No, I mean, I actually think it's always bad.
Yes.
Because it overwhelms.
Yeah.
And then it paralyzes, and then you overthink because you're overwhelmed, and then you don't take action. So it's really good.
For example, if you knew what it took to create a successful podcast before you started, what you know today, you might not even start.
No, I think what's the thing is because people are so close and familiar with the thing they're good at, they also feel like it's hard to charge a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's easy for them.
Because it's easy for me.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, because it's easy for me is why I should, I mean, I'll do it. Like
Yeah.
back to the time. It goes back to the time thing. Well, it'll only take me 2 seconds. Just give me a couple $100. You just give me $1,000.
Yeah.
But
I'm guilty of that
yeah,
too.
100. Yeah.
I just shared with him a crazy magic trick that I don't know, how much do you think I could have charged for the magic trick that I shared with you today? Just what do you think? Like $1 million, 100,000?
Are you saying like a real magic trick, or you mean like a magic trick in like sales
metaphorically?
and stuff?
Okay. But it's a magic trick, as in like if you knew this would change your life. And I don't think I could charge $100,000 for it, but because to me it's easy. But they're saying it was like priceless, right? Like I mean,
what was it?
Are we gonna reveal the magic trick now, mate?
We'll just say it and then we'll decide.
Yeah, the 100,000.
Well, yeah, the $100,000
Well, what
magic
would you
trick.
think is worth the trick that I shared with you? Like legit. Like, yeah,
Well,
I believe it's priceless.
Let me actually. I actually have a point to make.
Yeah.
That one might persuade you to want to share it.
Okay.
So personally, I genuinely don't have a filter on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like I don't gatekeep.
Yeah.
I actually leverage the limitation of the medium and the context of who's consuming it to be in control of that.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't pay for this information, you're not going to hear it the same way than
That's
if you
correct.
did.
That's correct. And all of them did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so when I came in the room and you guys were sharing the biggest takeaways, I was like, hey, just let me know one at a time. What's your biggest takeaway? I will say your takeaways aren't revolutionary. And you guys would agree. You guys are nodding. Okay. So then what the heck did you pay for if it's not like
they could have got on YouTube. They could have watched your channel.
They could go on YouTube. Like literally, can we all agree that it's the information's out there?
Yeah.
So
all right, fine.
So what I'm saying is we're going to tell you that people paid $100,000 to hear this nugget.
Yeah.
It is up to you to value whatever he's going to say. And if you don't value it, then sucks.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So this is how you win over a room. Okay. Because proximity is power. And we all know that who you spend time with is who you become. How do you network up the social life? So I'll share a quick story. I'm going to leave an open loop for them to watch.
Slow down, dude. You're Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson.
All right, I'll slow down.
Okay.
So I'll paint the context.
Okay.
I really believe who you spend time with is everything. So much so that I had an opportunity to ask Grant Cardone one question. I was touring with him around Australia. He was running this event thing, and I was like kind of shadowing the event as a sponsor. And I had an opportunity to ask him a question. And one question you can ask Grant Cardone, what are you going to ask him? So I was thinking about it. The whole time he was talking about proximity, you are who you spend time with. And the only way to do that, to increase your peer group, is to pay to play. Like he kept on saying, you got to pay to play. Like if you want to improve your friends, just pay to play. That's why golf country clubs are so expensive, because you're not buying a membership, you're buying the proximity to the people at their club.
Mm-hmm.
And so paying to play, we all know works. You're just paying yourself, you're paying to get friends. And that's good. So I asked Grant, the question I asked him was, hey Grant, like I've been touring with you the last 3 weeks. You kept on talking about pay to play to network up the social ladder, but there must be a way to network up the social ladder without having to pay to play. What is that way, Grant? How do you do it for free? And you know what he told me? I'll tell you at the end of this podcast.
Okay.
It was crazy. But that's the context of what I'm about to share with the magic trick. Now,
was that the magic trick?
No, that's not the magic trick.
Okay,
That's not the magic trick. So, for example, we're going out to dinner tonight, and you can apply this philosophy to any situation, right? And we're going to go out to dinner tonight. And let's just say dinner tonight, let's just say it's going to cost $5,000, for example, like $500 a person, fancy restaurant, $5,000. Now, generally on that kind of dinner, you'll tip $1,000, like 20%. Is that normal for? Yeah. And if you had a bad experience, you'd probably still tip somewhere close to that, or maybe 10, 15%, but you're still tipping.
Still tipping.
True? Like you're always going to tip, even if it wasn't the best experience. You just don't go back, but you're still tipping. What if you tip first? I call it the pre-tip. So tonight, whoever's looking after us, I'm going to give him $500, And I'm going to say to them, hey, look, I tend to get carried away with the night. We have so much fun. I have a few drinks and I always forget to tip. And I know you're going to look after us, so I'm just going to tip you first. You know what it does to someone? They now feel obligated to over-deliver. And you will have the best night ever. And everything that comes to you will be the best of. And you're with friends, and your friend's like, wow, why are we getting such great attention? Richmond, do you know the owner? No, first time here. First time here. And because I'm going to tip them anyway. But if I tip first, they're going to over-deliver, because when you give someone gratitude before they've earned it, they will try to earn it 10 times more to get it back. And that pre-tip principle has changed the whole game of how I treat people, of how you build friendships, of how you have great experiences at restaurants or at bars or whatever the thing is, because you're going to do it anyway. And there has only been one situation where I didn't get like awesome service. It was just average or not below average. But it didn't matter, because I would have had to tip them anyway, because I was going to do it anyway. But 9 times out of 10, when you pre-tip, you get a 10 times better experience. And I can't tell you how many times where the tip is actually less than what you would have actually tipped, because you did it first. And they'll come with you with a check. And so tonight they're going to come with us with a check, and there'll be the total bill. Let's just call it $5,000. And yet there's a tip section. They will actually cross it out and say, I got you. Don't worry about that. They don't want you to give. They don't want any more.
Yeah.
And so the pre-tip will change how you interact socially. But it also, you can do that from a friendship level. You can do that from any context.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that from like what's the principle in that? Would you say that's the law of reciprocity?
Yes.
Yes.
At its highest, but what you give it
But like you could build a brand where you're pre-tipping people in your world.
Your content is pre-tipping.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. And
But legit though, like it's legit, like a legit pre-tip. It's not like to manipulate the situation, because I have forgotten. And that's just how I came up with it, because I do get carried away, you know, and I do have a few drinks and da-da-da. And next minute I'm like, damn it, I forgot to tip him, because I like to tip cash.
Yeah.
And I really legit forget to tip. And then at the end I'm like, did someone tip? And I feel so bad. So I started tipping first. And it became like the most genius thing ever.
That's really good.
So I don't forget. I didn't do it to manipulate the situation. I did it because I actually forgot a lot of the times.
No, that's really good.
Yeah.
Dude, that's fire. Come on.
Let's go.
Dude, I have one.
Yeah.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Go to Starbucks. Get an iced shot of espresso. They put the 2% milk on the counter. Just fill up the rest of the cup. You have a latte. That's my magic trick. I don't do that, dude. I bring my own milk. I'm just that's so random. I'm just I don't know why that was a magic trick. By the way, my first job, I spent all my money on magic tricks.
Dude, I wanted to be a magician.
Penguinmagic.com. I had it. Dude, they were selling video trainings. It was digital products in 2006, 5. Sorry if I made people feel old. Sorry. I had a self-tying shoelace and it would just okay, never mind. All right, let's keep it going though. Okay. So was there ever a time where you were pumped up and then you gave your offer and no one bought?
Yeah. That haunts me, but it was a blessing, because it was a slap in the ego. So back then, like before COVID happened, most things were done in person. It's a very in-person kind of business model. Do an in-person event, get 20, 30, 40, 50 people in the room, give some value, and then sell something at the end.
Yep.
Now everything's virtual, which is awesome. And so I remember doing an event at an RSL club, and I had 80 people that came. And in hindsight, I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. I had 80 people in the room, an in-person event. They had to drive there. And I pitched on stage. It was a ridiculously awesome offer that I sold. It was $1,500, super cheap. It was half what I was normally offering, the $3,000, special price, thinking everyone's going to stand up and run to the back, and not one person ran to the back. And it was embarrassing. It was deflating. And I just wanted to crawl in my bed and go home because, you know, that was my income for the month.
Mhm.
I wasn't running in-person events every day. It was like earning one once a month, and then you got to go home and tell your wife, "How did you do?" "Yeah, I made a difference tonight." Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Made a difference.
Yeah.
Hey.
I helped some people. Like, yeah.
Dang, dude, Art, do you remember that trip to San Diego? It was February of 23, and I just launched my $2,000 program, and I closed it at midnight of December 31st. And then I'm like, well, I'm speaking here. I can open it up, and maybe this time I'll charge like $3,000. And I did what I thought was a great talk. I was invited to this real estate event to speak, and there was hundreds of people in the room, and like nobody moved. And it was a like QR code situation. I was like, you guys can scan the QR code.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I was like, all right, peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't make a single sale. Looking back now, why would you say at that moment no one said yes?
Because I thought I knew. See, I thought I knew what they wanted, but it was what I wanted. See, that's the difference.
Bro, literally, that's like everyone's stage one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it sounded good to me, but I just didn't do my market research. Number one, it's you got to understand your ideal client. And it goes back to the very first thing we talk about status. If you know that your clients want status and you're not giving it to them, then they're going to go somewhere else to find it. Some people, not everyone wants status. Some people want community.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want certainty. Some people want mateship. Some people just want to vent.
Yep.
And so we have an emotional coach in our program, and people say, why? Because people just want to vent. And so it's like, wow. And they say, that was the best call I've ever had. Now, we will never understand that. Like,
Yeah. But just talk. That's why I don't do one-on-one coaching. It turns into therapy.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it does.
Yeah.
It does. So just delegate it to someone else, like Jenny. Jenny. Yeah. It's like, well, you paid me $30,000 to vent, but you know, because they don't have anyone else in their life to.
Sure.
Yeah. But that's value for them.
Yeah. 100.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, that's really good. I just got done speaking at another person's mastermind before this. And one question he asked me before I left was, you know, we came up with stuff today. They were working on like signature talks. And a lot of the people were, when they came up with like a very sexy name, they were like, I can't be the one who says that. And he's like, what would you say to them? Because they don't feel like they can use these words confidently. They don't feel like they could title their offer or their thing with status and identity. And honestly, it's that you're so worried about you. And honestly, imposter syndrome is just simply another word for insecurity.
Yep.
A lack of confidence in who you are, but also insecurity is an obsession of self.
Yeah.
And
boom. Nailed it.
And when you start to obsess over customers, clients, prospects, problems more than they do, then they'll be happy to pay you whatever you charge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You hit the nail on the head. And if you've ever felt imposter, then unfortunately you're just being selfish.
Which is why I think most people who would say, yeah, man, I'm working. I've been thinking about launching. Yeah, I'm working on my offer. You've lost already because you're trying to get it to a place where you feel like it's good for you.
Yep.
No, let people decide.
Yep.
Sell it before it's ready and let people know that you're going to be a part of architecting this offer that's going to be way more once we dial this in. And then you get to build it with them. It becomes better. They get better served. It's a crazy experience. And now you have this bulletproof, iteration.
Yeah.
Which is something that just broke off me because everyone's in their dungeon or proverbial basement working on the thing they want to sell. And then they come out and they're like, man, this looks good to me. I love that you said that. This looks good to me. No, it has to seem and it has to look good to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. On that note, do you want to hear what Grant Cardone said?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And this is in relation to what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
He said, well, that's easy. Everybody needs something. Whether you're Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, or whoever you are, or the bum on the street. Everybody needs something. Your job is to find out what they want, go get it, and go give it to them. And I'm like, wow, that's the whole key to success. Finding out what people want, go get it, go give it to them.
So good.
Yeah.
Cool. Bro, in a moment, Art, if you could film, would you guys down to ask some questions? Do you have any questions? Just say yes for the sake of the podcast. Come on. But so Art's just gonna hit record on a wireless mic. Just hit record and record on board. Scratch audio. We'll clap. I will say when that talk I gave where nobody took the next step. I didn't give too much away. I overtaught. And I think sometimes because I teach this with people like, hey, you're teaching too much. What, you're telling me to hold back? No, I'm telling you the goal is to get people to feel like this is easy. The goal is to get people to believe that you're the right person. And when you communicate from a place of within, which usually ends up in tactics and in nuances and specificities, you're not shifting belief. You're not speaking to get people to think and feel different about the thing you're teaching. They don't take action.
Yeah.
But people who are really good, you got to just keep teaching and realize like, oh, I know what that means, because you'll say something and people will write it down, but they're still processing what you just said while you continue talking and you continue giving tactics, and they're like, my brain's fried. You know, but that's what I didn't do.
Yeah.
So like that all I did was like, do exactly this, everybody. But what the this I was telling them to do in that room was very technical, which that's why
it didn't serve. It doesn't serve them. Some people like, you feel like you should tell them everything and tell them how hard it really is, but it doesn't really serve them because then they won't do it.
Bro, oh my gosh. One of my pet peeves is when I pay somebody and they tell me this was difficult. Like I got the frame TV in one of our rooms, hired a handyman, hang the TV.
Yeah, done.
I want one hole in my wall. And bro just didn't put it in the right place. And I was like, dude, it's too high. He's like, man, these are just harder to hang. Bro, I'm paying you because it's supposed to be easier for you than it is for me. But anytime, in any context, every time, and I think sometimes people try to guard that.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh yeah, no. Dude, you just tell me like, what are you doing when you run those Facebook ads? Oh dude, it's a complicated process, man. I'm like, ew, is it complicated to you? Like, or can you just tell me what you're doing real quick so I have a better understanding? Anyway, that's just me ranting.
Yeah,
and
I totally get it.
It's like, dude, I want you, like, because so much of what we're talking about, the undertone and everything we're talking about is so much of this is solved when you also become a better buyer.
Yep. Yes.
Right? So
yes.
When you start to buy with value in mind and you buy quality.
Yep.
And you realize that when you usually buy the most expensive version of something, it usually results in a better outcome.
Yep.
And I have a crazy story about this. My friend Neil, he bought an Aston Martin, like the SUV, the DBX, I think it is. If I'm not mistaken, he bought it in December. It was about $300,000. Unfortunately, this summer, when they were out of town, his house got robbed. And they, everything. Think about it. Wife's purses, watches, the stuff, and the car.
Oh.
So he tells me this like detective dude comes, little junior detective. He's like, hey sir, so tell me what happened. He's like, who are you? He's like, bro, $500,000 worth of goods just got stolen from my house. Dude, they called in CSI. Why? Because of the price point of what was taken. So it almost served him better because he had a lot taken from him because he had I like the word expensive, but yeah, expensive stuff. So it exceeded the amount. And the crazy thing about this story, because he's been processing it with me. He said that's the only reason why they turned it into a crime scene. It's the only reason why they cared. And because he bought a car with great tech, dude, they used AI and all the GPS points and they tracked down the person.
So good.
And he's been stealing stuff forever.
Wow.
Because of the guy who was willing. Like you just think about this, you know, and this is just it's a principle I'm learning is, it's motive is number one. We don't buy expensive things. We don't buy nice things. We don't join the country club if our motives are off. But so much of this conversation too, undertones is service. When you find out what people want, go get what they want, and then you bring it to them. Yep. That's called service, you know? And yeah, it's just, that's been a big, huge unlock for me, understanding how to charge more. It's like, when you can't fathom it, it's because you always want a deal. You always want a discount. So how can you expect to charge somebody without giving a discount, without giving a deal, and it being higher in the market? But the crazy thing is, because of the prices you charge, you're not in competition anymore.
Yeah.
You're not a commodity. You're on your own category.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing to build that way because there's peace. You get to decide, you get to choose what you're doing. And it's just really cool. Sorry, I'm just going on.
Well, to your point, more expensive things, as a general rule, almost always last longer. And you will always be further ahead. And I'll give you an example. Like, you could buy a cheap dining table for $200, or you could buy a marble one for $1,000. The $200 one, you're gonna have to replace every single year for the rest of your life. And so at some point, you're spending more. The marble one will last you forever, and it's better. Right. It's durable. It looks nicer. You get all the benefits of the classiness of it and not breaking, and the inconvenience of having to replace it. And so people to understand that more expensive things, even though they're expensive now, they actually last longer. And so you actually save money in the long term.
Right.
And so if you're afraid of spending more, and it is scary, like, I mean, I'm not saying like, got to drop $100,000 on it. It's, you know, you should feel nervous dropping $100,000 on an offer or a car or something like that if it's your first time. But also know that it's going to give you a better ROI because more expensive things almost always last longer.
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah. I actually learned that principle with clothing.
Yes.
When the fast fashion wave came out and they were studying, now cotton in the US is like genetically modified. And so H&M and Top Man and all these things, they're kicking out a ton of looks. Whereas the high-end stores, like the stores downstairs, 4 times a year, they swap it out. But they spend way more time on these pieces. And then what happens is when you buy a t-shirt from H&M, it changes shape with one wash. And then you buy an organic cotton potentially made in the USA or wherever you're from, but like it gets better with time. Like your body oils and the way, dude, it's crazy. That's why I love like vintage Levi 501 denim made in the US or Mexico. They don't make them like that.
You gotta get a sponsor this video.
I know, right? And then the last thing I'll say about value is lobster and steak. Lobster has zero value. It's like a bottom feeder, but it's the same price as steak. And steak's like a cow that eats grass.
Yeah.
That's so random. That has nothing to do with anything. But when I judge, when people I'm at a table, it's like,
you don't like lobster?
It's not even what I like. There's no value in it. The lobster just crawled forever. And I know we're gonna go eat at a steakhouse and people are gonna get lobster and shrimp, but I'm just projecting. Yeah, let's do some questions. You got some questions about pricing? It'd be really cool. Or, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. My ring just fell off because I lost 30 pounds in 2.5 months.
Damn.
Yeah. But you're getting swole. I'm getting skinny, bro. Yeah, I put on a different.
I'm trying. I was training with Andy Elliott, you know.
Dude, that's good. That's cool. Yeah. Question over here, and awesome.
So my question is, my secret thought of how I want to charge for my coaching, the amount is, it's there. And to actually say, and I know they're the value. I know it's worth it. I know it's I give it more value than what it should be. On the other side, I'm kind of stuck with the thought of, am I being arrogant? if I charge that much compared to what most people are charging, this other amount.
Yeah.
So how do I
Dang.
understand or change that thought process?
That's a great question.
It's a great question.
You're focused on the wrong person. Like, no one who thinks you're arrogant is going to buy.
Mm.
So whoever you thinks is that they're going to think that thought of you. Who the heck are they thinking that they're not your customer? Because they think you're arrogant. So rather than focusing on the people or persons that would think you're arrogant for charging that price, focus on the people that are glad that somebody is doing it a different way. That looks like them, that talks the way you talk, that has your experience, like all those things. It's a funny thing that we naturally tend to do because we're heartaholics, or we naturally bent into negativity. But we will focus on the few that aren't going to buy versus the many who will buy and just need to have a question answered, and they're being like, "Oh, I'll buy it. I wasn't going to, but now I will." So,
okay,
is that helpful?
And to add to that, your pricing should be designed to deter the people you don't want. And by default, it'll attract the people you want. And so it's not about arrogance or not. It's about strategically saying, I don't want these customers. That's why I'm charging twice as much. Or maybe you don't like pompous people and you're going to charge cheap because you don't like those, you know what I mean? So think about it that way. Like, it should be a deterrent for the people you don't want in your world. As Myron says, the reason why I charge $350,000 or $1 million, $375 now, yeah, because I just don't want headache.
Right.
He just doesn't want headache clients, and not to say that you should charge that much, but his whole structure is based on who don't I want to buy this, and that's the game.
It's for whoever doesn't want to buy it.
Yeah,
I have this offer, so people don't buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the ones that do want it, well, that's the one I want to buy. So
yeah, that's really good.
Okay, so the few that might be voicing it out in a negative way, it's like, no. My focus is the many who are not voicing it but thinking it, and saying, yeah, we want that. So just really focus on them.
Now, I'm in a season where I did like 7 challenges with one offer. Right? On the 8th challenge was the first time we introduced a downsell offer after the challenge. It was like an in-person event. It was a great offer, you know? In my mind, I'm like, shoot, man, there was over 1,000 people that I didn't sell the right offer to. But you know what? No, I became a millionaire with one offer. I wouldn't have done it with multiple offers. So my thing is just like understanding your season, who you want to serve, and who would love to work with you. I would just focus on that group, and then over time you'll find. But even that person, if they think you're arrogant with that first offer to begin with, they're probably not even going to buy the lower offer or whatever offer. So again, it's just like, yeah, it's kind of like, oh, you're just here for the information, and that's fine. That's why I'm doing this. You know, just don't focus on them.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
You mentioned, your first program was at like 2,000, then you did the jump to 25K, right?
I'll be honest, 2, and then it was like 5, and then it was 10, and then 15, 17, 21.
So my question is, what was the belief? Probably at that moment you didn't see it, but you wish you had let go so that you would probably have jumped quicker. Was there a belief that was holding you back that maybe later like, damn?
Great question.
You know what's so funny about that is when I first started coaching and I offered a $2,000 coaching program for a year, I originally put it out at 5. Check this out. Because no one responded right away, I said, dang, this is crazy. Everyone wants in. I really want to serve you all. So we're actually going to drop the price to $2,000. And when I sent that email that I'm dropping the price, and I did it because I wasn't I didn't have the conviction to charge 5. Personally, I was trying to charge 5 and I myself never paid $5,000. So that's one thing. As soon as I sent that email, I got 2 people literally texting me and say, hey, I saw your thing. Where do I send the 5? I was like, so like, notice how like my insecurity, like literally, like, I was insecure, but I was integrous. And I said, hey, it's actually 2 now. Congratulations. Bet. Where do I send the 2? You know? But it all just came from that deeper place, right? And then over time, as you start solving problems and you do see the results that people are getting, it just starts to just not make sense anymore.
Every time I had to increase my price, the limiting belief I had was, I don't think they can see that, like, how are they going to justify the value? Oh my gosh, like it's 10,000, but now it's 15. Like they won't see the value when you increase the price. And this is what I've learned. They don't even know. It's you, because you don't see the value, increase the price. In actual fact, it's the opposite. They think it's more valuable when you increase your price. When you're thinking, they're going to think, oh, I can't see the value in that. It's the opposite. I'll give you an example. Let's just say I have this 100K offer and I got this 10K offer. I'm not going to tell you what's in it. What do you think, which one's better?
Oh, the 100K.
Yeah. Case closed.
I'm not going to tell you what's in it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But you already know 100K one's better. So every time you increase the price, if you think that they are thinking, I'm not going to see value in that, or I can't justify that, the opposite is actually happening in their mind. They're going to think it's better. It must be good.
So good. Yeah. Every time I raise my price, well, that's really good too. That just know too, nobody's obsessing over your price over time. Like if somebody thought about joining at one point or doing the thing and they went through an environment, when you come around, you're teaching them that, oh snap, it's going up. So I must get in now, because if I wait again, I'm in the same place. I'm going to jump in. So yeah, every time I've raised it, I've always raised it after like an event, a virtual event. And most of the people don't even know I raised it. And then of the people that are doing the event again, they're like, oh shoot, it was lower last time. Dang it. And that's a life principle, that today's price is not tomorrow's price. You know?
Thank you.
That was 100K worth of game right there.
Dude,
like,
crazy.
Actually.
We were showing magic tricks, doing everything.
Yeah, magic tricks.
It all.
Wow. Thank you so much. You're bright, and you're the type of person I know people like love being around, to include myself, because it just, it makes me level up, and you're so honest. You could tell you're not hiding anything. And in a world where we're living in a trust recession, it's good to see good people doing good work.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Likewise.